Now, Anthony Kaufman is the next one. He writes for Screen International. Anthony writes, a tantalizing and fascinating real-life story. Now, keywords, real life, throw that out with the word truth, true, real life, trying to send the message home that the case is closed, it's a done deal. A highly topical and resonant trip down the alt-right rabbit hole produced by Werner Herzog. This is what Kaufman writes there. Alt-right comes up again, the word rabbit hole.
Only took them 2 sentences. That's it. And the alt-right is back.
And it's right on back.
Oh, boy. There it is. The alt-right rabbit hole. Okay, I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to figure out who is really a part of this alt-right and why are they connecting David Crowley to this alt-right thing.
Now, he writes on this article that I did a screenshot, says, but if the documentary begins as some kind of American movie for the alt-right, keyword, portraying a dedicated outsider, filmmaker's efforts to make his very own blockbuster, the story abruptly turns darker. In January 2015, Crowley was found dead along with his wife and daughter in their Minnesota home. Crowley's fans and devotees were quick to call foul play, suggesting that the U.S. government assassinated one of their would-be leaders. But the truth, as Erik Nelson reveals in his carefully plotted out and sympathetic investigation, is more tragic and sad than shadowy. What are some key words that jump out for you, Greg, on this one?
Well, so Erik Nelson has the truth. So basically they're saying this guy's saying this film is the truth. Everybody has their theories, and he's going to lump all of the fans, he's lumping them all into one small little box and saying this is what they all thought.
Correct.
Which is totally BS. I mean, there's so many different people that have so many different views or that don't have a conclusion. They haven't come to that point where they've said, okay, this is what happened. Yeah, there are many that have, but I think there are many more that have not. And this guy doesn't even address those. It's just, well, this is what the fans think. This is what these people think. And it's not true. And then he's going to actually use the keyword true in this. That's ironic, too, to me. I mean, come on. Doesn't get any more ironic than that. And it always comes back down to the theory that the government killed him, which they know that is a key word for many people that are just going to go, that are going to roll their eyes and they're not going to want to dig any deeper.
Yep, and what I see here, Greg, is the phrase Hegelian dialectic jumps right out at me. It's suggesting two sides, once again, on everything that this Anthony Kaufman writes. He says Crowley's fans and devotees were quick to call foul play. That, to me, shows that the only people, what he's subliminally messaging here is the only people that call foul play in this entire case were Crowley fans and devotees. Now, I myself am not a Crowley fan before this case happened. I never heard of David Crowley, and I wasn't devoted to his work and even never heard of the Gray State Project. But I, on day one, was quick to call foul play on this case. There's many others like me and and yourself out there that called foul play that were not fans and devotees. So the article shows that the only people calling foul play were his big fans and supporters, what it makes the reader assume. Then he goes on to say that those who called foul play suggested it was the U.S. government that did it. Once again, Hegelian dialectic, one way or the other. If someone did kill him, it was the U.S. government. That is not what many of us are suggesting, that it was a top-level assassination. It could certainly be an option, but there's lots of different scenarios here. But this article is really pushing down the reader's throat that there's two sides. You're either with them or you're not. You're a nut job like Crowley's fans, or you're not. Everything that he's presenting here in this carefully crafted article is suggesting we, they, us, them, good, bad, law, left, right paradigm. Now, he also goes on to say, but the truth, as director Erik Nelson reveals, is more tragic and sad than shadowy. So once again, it's bringing conclusion, it's bringing closure to this case that Erik Nelson has done the work with his team, investigated all the scenarios, and has put the truth here in one nice documentary that someone could watch and solve this case. The word truth is used, and that's what jumped out at me after reading this one.
If I was a fan, I'd be pretty pissed off. It also says, it calls David a would-be leader, one of their would-be leaders, as if these people really need leaders. It wasn't really about leaders. I mean, I don't see anywhere where David, at least publicly, considered himself a leader, or where other people considered himself their leader. So it's always about, we need some type of a leader, Then he has to talk about truth. You don't know what the truth is. Erik Nelson will tell you he does not know what the truth is. I haven't seen this movie, and I can almost guarantee you that when you watch this movie, it will not be what the truth is. I think it'll be a lot more questions, as it should be, because there are a lot more questions that have not been answered. And I think we're right back to that same thing where the focus is what they want it to be. It's not about what really happened. And that's what's sad and shadowy here, is that they don't want to focus on the actual truth.
Correct. The leader, I remember reading one of the other reviews of this movie also, they called David Crowley a charismatic leader. They're trying to push that almost, I'm trying to think of the guy's name, James Jones, almost a Jim Jones concept is what they're trying to visualize, that he was some off-the-rails leader that people were blindly following. And I think that they're trying to make, to discredit part of this MO, to discredit David Crowley, that he was a David Koresh, Waco kind of a figure, is what they're trying to envision in people's heads because they can latch onto that. That's how I see these articles coming off, when they use the word leader, that is.
Yep, you're absolutely right.